I turned 34 years old this week. Oh my God. And these are the lessons I would tell my 18-year-old self. If you don't know me, my name is Isham. I'm a filmmaker, I'm a photographer, I'm a writer, director. I've been published on magazines, including the cover of DuPont magazine. And recently I just finished making 15 short films in 4 months. And this is kind of a little love letter to my younger self, you know, whether I'm 18, 16, 13 years old, probably about 16. It's about the age when I really decided to become a filmmaker, and the things that I would recommend young Jake to do and the things that, you know, you could say I wish I redid. As a writer and a director, the biggest lesson is figuring out what stories you want to tell. And in my opinion, the only way to figure out what stories to tell is to just know what stories have been told. So I would tell him to watch more films, to read more scripts, to know where the craft came from. That was definitely one of the things that I did that was successful and did help a lot, is that I understood when I was in film school, I learned about the history of film. I learned French New Wave and Russian cinema in the 1930s to the rise of the Hollywood system, to you kind of name it. Where did film come from? I got to watch interesting films, and I wish to this day I watched more films when I had more time and less responsibilities. One of the other things that I recommend is just read more in general. Watch more documentaries. If you learn more about other cultures and just society at large, you'll see that all films, whether that they are, that take place here and now, whether they are historical or that they're fantasy or science fiction or whatever, are all about humanity. And it's all about us as people and our lives. And that I really like, it is about human connection and the human struggle. And if you look at Lord of the Rings, if you look at Star Wars, you look at Psycho, you look at any film that is really successful, it's about people. And it's about the struggle people are going through. It's not even about the larger, what it might look like, but everything under it, there's a deeper human theme. And it's those themes, when they're told really well, connect with the audience. And that's what makes the films that we love, why we love them. Because in my opinion, that's what really separates the B movie versus the A movie, is because the B movie is surface level. It's just like, hey, let's shoot them, let's fight them, there's this. It is the gimmick, rather than, and it's the cheesy dialogue, and there's a lack of humanity, versus the movies that could be the same thing, but really beautifully capture that theme and that human drive and urge underneath it that make it great art. Next would be to say to travel, is to see the world. Film takes place out in the world. And if you can understand that, traveling is not easy to do, especially if you don't have money, but the more you can observe the world, the more you can get inspired by it. And I think that's definitely something, I'm a big fan of the Mission Impossible series, and as that series has expanded, one of the things they show is the world. And if you can understand and see the world and see the cultures, and I've been very fortunate to travel a tremendous amount as a photographer and as a filmmaker, working corporate jobs, working with nonprofits, etc., that I really learned that we're all the freaking same. We're all freaking humans. When we all like to have entertainment, we eat food, it's all the same things. We all have families, we all have jobs, we all have struggles. It's all the same thing. And it all goes back to understanding that. One of the other things that have been really successful, but took me a decade to do, and if I could compress it much faster, and it was something I didn't do in film school because I was so narrow-minded. I had worked on a film set right before film school. I took a gap year and I worked on a feature film, a Disney film, and saw what it was like on a big budget. It was like, I think it was like $20-30 million set, and Sigourney Weaver was in it, Jamie Lee Curtis was in it, and I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I saw all the films and I got this chip on my shoulder. I was like, I just want to be a director. I don't want to do any other job. And I was this, and became this very kind of pretentious young kid. And so it really stunted me in film school, where I just wanted to be a director. And then proceeded to then the next 10 years after film school, really have to learn that I have to learn the other hats of filmmaking. And I didn't understand that I had to learn the other hats of filmmaking. And because now I write, I direct, I DP, I know how to do sound, I edit, I sound design, I compose, not really compose, but I know how to find really good stock music and have that stock music fit correctly with my films. And it took the practice. It just took the time doing it. And to me, it's a great asset because now I can talk to a DP. I can talk to a film composer. I can talk to an editor. I can talk to a screenwriter. I can talk to my actors. I can talk to everybody on set because I know how to do that function. I know how to wear that hat. And it's one of the most valuable tools that I have in my arsenal. And the more I've studied other directors, is you see great directors being able to do that, from Michael Bay to Steven Soderbergh, you name it. They're able to step in and DP, to camera up, because they know how to do it themselves. And so that they can work with the top of the top talent and have great dialogues and be able to push each other to make great art because they understand how to do it. Next, I would say, is network. It's something I definitely did not do in film school, and it's something that as I got older, I've gotten better at it, but I still don't do enough of it. Go out, go meet people in film, go talk to people, go out. And I'm not saying go out to parties, but like go be in spaces that you can meet other filmmakers, because it's something I definitely did not do, and it's still something I wish I do more of today, and it's something I'm pushing myself to do more and more of. Finally, and this sounds so stupid, but 16-year-old Jake, make more films. If you want to make films, you need to make films. That's been one of the biggest lessons I've learned in the last 4 months, is I've made 15 short films, and it's like, oh, now I'm getting in the rhythm, I'm getting in the groove, learning that ideas aren't precious. Like, I can just make them, put them out, make it, put it out. Yeah, they're not going to be great, but the only way to be great is to practice being great. I know it sounds stupid and it sounds slightly backwards, but the way you be great is just you got to practice. Nobody's born great. The reason why Kobe and Michael Jordan, Michael Phelps, Tom Brady, the reason why they're great is because they just put in the time. They were relentless on their practice. And as an artist, you just have to practice. You have to practice your craft over and over and over and over and over. And as a filmmaker, you don't get that many shots on goal. You don't get the opportunity to practice in the same way. So you have to make the opportunities to practice. You got to just make the films, whether it's with an iPhone, whether it's DSLR, whatever it is. Just go make it. And the more you practice, the better you're going to get. And finally, is promote them. Put it out there. The more you promote, the more successful you're going to be. And it is so stupid and is so simple. But don't stop communicating. Don't stop sharing your art. Don't stop reaching out to people. Don't stop. You just have to keep it up over and over and over and over and over again, and just keep going, keep going, keep going. And I'll put one final PS to this. Knock off the ego. Be humble. Be willing to learn. You don't know everything. And really take that time to just listen. Listen to people. Even if you do know what they are saying. Even if you know that already. Be willing to just be there. Listen to them. Because there might be a nugget. There might be a little something. But minimally, they'll go, wow, he just sat there and listened. And he was really attentive. And it shows a maturity level. So these are the lessons that I wish I had learned almost 2 decades ago. And I hope one, and any of them, all of them, help you and help you get to your goal a little faster. And hope to make films with you one day.